I don't think I've ever planned a complete picture, ever. I just build it up as it goes. The wonderful things you can pop into these pictures just keep you going and make you laugh as well. It's a form of meditation. You just do it and time passes, it flows quickly. It's like driving a car. You're forgetting you're driving it, and 10 minutes later you realise you've got from Penrith to Laura without knowing you were driving. And you can sew like that as well. I was born in Tasmania. I was the last of 8 children, and I was an artistic little boy from the age of 6 months, I should think. And I began knitting when I was about 4. I did what my sisters did. I had 4 sisters in their late teens and early 20s. Getting married, getting engaged, and they were knitting, and I knitted through my early years to the disgust of my father, and I've never really stopped knitting, but embroidery has since taken over.
So Robert, could you tell us a little bit about the tapestry here, which starts in Tasmania and the beginning of the whole kind of journey?
Yes, I decided to spend quite a long time, years I think, doing a series of 6 paintings of my life. And there's my mother, who suffered fearful migraines all her life, in her corsets, which she wore all her life. And I'm there with my brother Bill, me in my primary school clothes, and a couple of pictures of Tasmanian Aborigines drawn by the early French voyagers to Tasmania in the 1820s.
And so you're borrowing from the Scream, Edward Munch. She looks like she's in
Yes, I think in all my
agony.
pictures there's a lot of borrowing. I don't claim complete originality in the themes that I choose. They've often got a Caravaggio background, or any Renaissance theme that I see I'll incorporate in my pictures.
Robert's tapestry practice is anything but what you would associate with traditional kind of tapestry. His work is very autobiographical in nature. It's incredibly witty, and it's referencing art concepts and artists. It takes things into a really international kind of realm, which obviously follows his life, which has been based all around the world.
This is me as an adolescent in Hobart at the Belvedere Ballroom, dancing with my fiancée in my beautiful dinner suit, dreaming of another world outside Tasmania. And I'm clearly not happy with the situation. Comes out in nightmares which I've been having, which I've sewn into the background of the picture, of truncated male naked bodies and more male bodies appearing from water wrapped in bandages. So you can make of that what you want. At the age of 18, realising that I was gay, it was not something that you could enjoy very much in Tasmania of 1954. So that spurred me on to go to England. And this is just a picture of myself happily on his throne with his 2 best friends, Margaret Duff, who's I portray as an angel, and my partner Richard, who was a publisher.
So there's a striking contrast between dancing with your fiancée and then finding some kind of freedom from escaping almost Tasmania.
And I was having a wonderful time. And I used to go to the French pub in London where all these people hung out, eccentrics, intellectuals, gays. And I was 19, I was extremely pretty, and they dubbed me Miss Tasmania, so that was really called Miss Tasmania. I was a literary person. I was determined that I was going to be a famous writer. And so when I first went to London, I was very lucky to get a job as a publisher. And I worked as a publisher for many years, editing books and writing books. I failed as a writer. I've written 12 books, but none of them hit the headline. Then I got serious and went to university, became an anthropologist, and went to Africa. And over here we have myself in Africa, kowtowing to the chief of the tribe I work for.
It's an extraordinary life. But what about the needlework? Why the fascination with needlework?
On my first trip to Africa, I had to get on a boat. They were called banana boats, and they left Rotterdam and they sailed to West Africa, and it took them about 3 weeks to get down to the Cameroon. And I had to think, what am I going to do for 3 weeks? So I went to the needlewoman shop in Regent Street, and I bought a Union Jack needlecraft pattern, and I sat on this boat with one nun as my companion and sewed this Union Jack. That's the first tapestry I did, and I gave it to the chief and he hung it on his wall, and I presume it's still on that wall. But after doing my field work and going back to university to teach, I found I was a hopeless teacher. I just ran away from university and went to Italy and lived there for 25 years. When I went, I had to think of what I was going to do there because I didn't speak Italian, I didn't have any friends there, just a big empty house. So I bought $1,000 worth of wool, worked on them for the next 20 years in Italy. Well, this is one of my oldest mats. It's an Etruscan lion. This is the wool I bought in England when I first moved to Buttignano in Italy. And I had kilos of these colours. So I got really very sick of the same colours, which I worked on probably for about 8 years. And then I went mad and went into bright colours, and I've never looked back. This is a crocodile doing an animal series. There's no plan behind them at all. I simply get the crocodile, put it down on the canvas, and then I fill it in. I would take a drawing like this, block it out, and the outline of the crocodile would be actually drawn onto this canvas. Then I think of the fact that the crocodile is a bloodthirsty animal, and there's a quote from Tennyson, "Nature red in tooth and claw." So I thought I'll make the claws of the crocodile red because that's been plunged into somebody's body and it's full of blood. His mouth is pouring blood out of it. And then I thought about how does he manage to do this so stealthily, and it's probably because he's camouflaged. So I've camouflaged the crocodile as if he was a soldier. So here it gets a little bit wacky. So this actual technique is extremely simple. It's simply, and people want to know what I do with the ends, I go into the hole, take it through, leave the wool there, make sure that needle catches the wool behind, and off I go.
To document a life through needlework, most people would pick up a camera, take photos, keep albums. Robert uses wool and needles to create these pictures of his life. And as an autobiographical note, it's just such a rich collection of work.
It was a good move to go to England, it was a good move to go to Italy, it was a good move to go to Africa, but coming back to Australia is the best move for me at my age. Perfect. Oh, I think tapestries have been a source of meditation, a source of joy and humour. It's allowed me to enter the world of art by searching for materials to copy or to be inspired by, which is a new thing for me. I've never been so involved in art and the art world as I am now. And that all didn't begin really till I was 60. So that's been a wonderful thing for me, because I couldn't go on being an anthropologist. Too tough. I didn't want to go on writing because I wasn't selling books. So I found this wonderful thing to do, which provides me with all these stimuli